Welcome back, YouTube. So I wanted to make a post here, well, point out a post that I made today on Twitter to pretty much give an example of the returns and the power that's going on in crypto, because you see that even when you have a comparison here across the board with some commodities, some stocks, the S&P, some REITs even, and even crypto, you'll see how powerful crypto actually is. And this is why I think, I remember, if you guys remember a couple of years ago, I said that there's going to pretty much be an S&P of like crypto basically, and it's going to outperform the stock market. And I believe this is one of the catalysts, because I've been saying this for a while. I believe this is one of the catalysts is why institutions want to be involved in crypto, because if they don't have exposure, it's going to make those portfolios look really bad. You can't have all these market experts and, they're charging, percentages and fees and stuff like that to manage trillions of dollars. And then you have somebody going on Robinhood and buying Bitcoin or something and outperforming the entire market. It's going to look really bad. And you assume you're going to have a transfer of liquidity, pretty basically. So I'll post some of the links to some of those older videos in the community section. But I believe we're seeing evidence of this already. Let's take a look here. You'll see that, you have Bitcoin, the NASDAQ 100, and Doge, and the top three, right? Bitcoin 156, NASDAQ 52, Doge 41, right? So if you invested in those three, you would have done better than the S&P. You've done better than VEA, IWM, small caps, gold, REITs, emerging markets, VWO, obviously cash, US bonds, crude oil. You would have outperformed all of these assets just by simply buying some of those. And a lot of times people say, oh, well, with those, oh, it's a meme coin and stuff like that. You're outperforming almost double the S&P by investing in Doge. That is the power of crypto, really. And I think that this is going to become more apparent going into this next market here. And another thing I want to point out on my Twitter feed I just posted is you'll see that SafeMoon has filed for Chapter 7 bankruptcy. And this is what I was pointing out. I said that there'll be plenty of this. Most of these coins are going to disappear when the bull run happens. More liquidity will flow into those that remain, right? And this is another reason why I believe that we're going to see much, much higher prices on a lot of these coins, is because if you guys remember, after the explosion of Doge, like 90% of these coins did not exist, right? After Doge had its huge run up, they started doing these liquidity pools, and there was 1,000 coins popping up every day to be the next Dogecoin. That was even the marketing behind most of these coins. A lot of them have changed their marketing, but we can't forget that a lot of the marketing behind a lot of these coins initially was going to be the next Dogecoin or the Dogecoin killer and all these kinds of stuff like this. It was that pool of liquidity that, oh, well, you missed out on Doge, but this is the next one. So, bring that money over here, sell that, bring that money over here, and we're going to duplicate that success. And I'm telling you, that's not going to be the case. You have to have a vision for the coin. You have to have a community for the coin. The coin has to have leadership. If it doesn't have scarcity value, there's a lot of things that has to happen inside the coin in order for it to have longevity. Otherwise, it's going to be a flash in the pan, and you're going to end up being liquidity for probably the developers, and when they go bankrupt and stuff like this. So even when the brokers and stuff had issues, going forward, like Gemini, FTX, to name a few. So we have to kind of keep that in mind going forward, to say that, okay, well, there's probably going to be a lot of cryptos pop up during this bull run, but that liquidity is going to, when these coins start disappearing and start filing for bankruptcy, when it becomes extremely volatile, that capital is going to go somewhere, and it's going to go into those coins that have withstood the test of time. And this is one of the things that I'm excited about, because you're going to have things like the halving for Bitcoin. You're going to have things for like the ETFs coming into the market. You're going to have things like the Doge One mission and stuff like that. And then, unfortunately for some of the people who are holding some of those spin-off tokens and stuff like that, they're going to go away, but they're also going to look to deploy some capital, because they're going to see what's happening in the market. So they're going to be looking for alternatives. And that's when you're going to have a lot of that capital return back to those coins that have been there and withstood the test of time, and that aren't going to get rug pulled or file for bankruptcy and all these kinds of things. And that's when you're going to see, you're going to have to kind of put all of this into this next bull run. And I think this is what's going to make this next bull run really special and different from any of the ones that we've had before. So it's really just that market consolidation that's going to play a big role in this market going forward. So I'm going to take a look here at the charts, but overall, I believe that when we have this transition going forward, I think that most of the community is a lot wiser than it was the first time. I think that we are aware as a whole about, owning your crypto, not leaving it on exchanges and stuff like that. We're aware of like shorts and stuff. It's a lot of things that's going to be different this time, but there's going to be new people. There's going to be people who have that urge to chase the flash in the pan. So hopefully enough of us have learned enough over this bear run to not kind of get wrecked on the next transition here. So let me switch over to the chart. I want to point that out. Hopefully you can see the chart. It should be up. That's great. So we're going to look here, just like we talked about over like the last few days, like the last week, we are establishing that higher high, building out this floor here. That is absolutely terrific. I love it. This is giving an idea of the strength that is in this movement. Using the 14-day, again, just like we talked about, this is working out perfectly. No issues here whatsoever. We've started a new candle close for the second time inside of the zone. This is all absolutely great news for this movement here. And this is what you want. You want to build some strength here before you have the ascension here. Again, inside of this zone, before you start threatening that level here, we have to obviously retest, I believe, at around 10.5. But overall, about 10.5, 10.75, and then that'll open up that gap to around 11.16. So, which is great. And then of course, after that, I think it's like 12.5. So that puts Doge in a great position here. BTC, market leader, same thing here, using that 14-day, slowly closing up. It's a little bit more narrow to retest some of the highs here at 44, because like 1,000, 1,400 maybe below. So, which is really great. That's holding that close here. We had that gap initially up. It filled the gap down, used the 14 days of crutch, and over the last 3 days, pretty much gained that gap back and is threatening to retest. Again, that is perfectly fine. I am okay with that. We'll see if we stay here. Same thing with Doge as well. We'll see a flattening of the 14-day. But as long as it's using that as a crutch, that is still going to help support, maintain these levels, and ultimately build out those floors here, because that's something you want if you're looking to have some integrity in some of these newer higher levels here, versus just swinging thousands of dollars or 20-30% every day. You want to have some integrity in some of these floors here. 14-day, same thing, right in that 14, fill the gap. And ironically, Ethereum's kind of switched back to kind of align more with Bitcoin. It was aligning more with Doge about a week or so ago, but now it's aligning more with Bitcoin with the price action. So fill the gap, spent about 3 days, roughly has made back the gap down. So again, we'll look at testing around 2,400. So maybe a little less than $100 before you're retesting those previous rejections. So again, Ethereum is in really great shape. The market's looking good. I really like that news from Powell the other day. So I think overall we're in a healthy position. We just have to kind of make sure that you are, just planning accordingly. If you are looking for like those entries and stuff like that, I don't think that we're going to have, unless something crazy happens, I don't think that we're going to see some of those lows that we've seen over the last couple of years. Not right now. I think that we're in the process of an ascension, that gradual rise before we get into like the actual bull run. So we're probably going to see these higher highs and balance out and build these floors up. So ultimately, you're going to have to make some tough decisions if you've been waiting on the sidelines this entire time and thought that you could time the market. It is going to be very tricky. And if you are looking to capitalize on some of those swing downs and stuff like that. You just have to kind of keep in mind here like the different zones and understand that when you ascend out of a zone, even if it looks like it's heading back toward that zone, that doesn't necessarily mean it. It can grab liquidity from anywhere. Like right now, we're using the 14, and people were thinking we're going to go back to 8. And we had some slight overshoots, and sometimes even like with Doge's case, it can be a flash crash. It can reach down there, grab that liquidity so quickly before you can even execute an order, and then now it's ascended past the place that you were rejecting buying because you thought you could get it cheaper, and then you don't have it at any place. And now the return on zero is going to be zero, so you don't want to put yourself in that situation. But ultimately, again, not financial advice. Just kind of keep that in mind that we are historically trending. We're certainly high. Bitcoin certainly are trending more aggressively now for the reasons that I laid out earlier in the video, I believe. But technically speaking, we do start that ascension November, December before the actual run. So we're right on time for that ascension here. But these trends are certainly more aggressive than the previous ones, but that could be due to a lot of the catalysts, more people being in the market. There's a lot of reasons for that can happen. So don't let that be a detour. There's the reasons that extra capital can be there. So anyway, let me know your thoughts and comments in the comment section. Thank you guys for all the new subscribers. Thank you guys for sharing the videos. Hope you guys are finding value. I will be making some announcements and recording some videos about some different features that are going to be on the channel and stuff probably this weekend. And you'll see it more so on the homepage. So, but anyway, I appreciate all of you guys. Thank you. And I'll see you in the next video.